Today, we are going to take a look at 5 insane differences in the NBA between the 1997-1998 and the 2021-2022 seasons. Before we get too deep into it, we want to introduce ourselves to you if you're new to Keep It 35. We started off strictly with historical NASCAR content, but our passions for other sports have had us starting to throw some MLB, NBA, and NFL videos in every week too. We hope you enjoyed this video, and please make sure to subscribe to our channel. There are many huge differences that the NBA has seen since 1997, but that's pretty common for an almost 25-year span in any sport. The thing is, some of them really don't even have to do with the evolution of the style of play, like our first insane difference: games started. The 1997 season saw 23 players start all 82 games. You had MJ, The Glove, Mutombo, Duncan, Garnett, Kidd, Finley, Allen, Rice. You name it, they probably did it. The stars showed up to play every single night and always, always played hard. In addition to those 23, another 16 started 80-plus games. Now, fast forward to 2022. Do you know how many players started all 82 games this past season? 2. 1, 2, 2. Saddiq Bey of the Detroit Pistons and Mikal Bridges from the Phoenix Suns were the only players in the league to start every game. Remember we said that 39 players from 1997 played at least 80 games? Well, this past season only had 12 do it. Speaking of workloads, it's not just about showing up for the tip. These guys from the 90s played. Michael Finley led the league with an average of just over 41 minutes a game. 15 players in total averaged over 39 a game that season. This year, Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet led the way with 37.9 minutes per game. That would rank 23rd in 1997. A quick shout out to the Toronto Raptors for quietly having a little bit of old school mentality. Pascal and Fred tied for the most minutes per game in the league. Scotty Barnes was 8th and Gary Trent Jr. was 14th. The Sixers, with James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, were the only other team in the league with at least 2 players that ranked at least top 18 in the statistic. Heck, former Raptors forward and current Chicago Bulls star DeMar DeRozan was 4th. One of the most obvious changes to the game is the increase in three-pointers attempted. We all know that the king of threes, Steph Curry, leads the way, this year taking just under 12 a game. There were 11 players in total that took at least 8. Take a trip back to 1997 and you'll find that Joe Dumars of the Pistons led the league with 5.9 attempts per game. 5.9? That would rank an incredible 48th in the league in 2022. Reggie Miller took the 12th most threes in 1997, chucking up 4.7 per game. That would rank an absolutely insane 90th this past season. Shaquille O'Neal led the NBA in field goal percentage back in 97, coming in just above 58%. He was the only player in the NBA above 55.5. Bo Outlaw's field goal percentage that season, which ranked right behind Shaq, would slot 11th this past season. You might think that those last few sentences tell the entire story, but they don't. 8 of the top 10 in the category from 1997 took at least 12 shots a game, with 2 taking over 18 per game. This past season, DeAndre Ayton, who had the 4th best percentage in the league, was the only player in the top 7 to take over 10 a game. He averaged 12. We aren't really trying to prove any points per se with these stats that we're throwing your way, but merely showing how different the game is. We'll leave all the debating and opinions up to you. Last but not least, we will throw some opinions in here. It's not just the style of play that has changed, it's the style too. Simple is often better, but when it comes to NBA jersey designs, shoot, where do we begin? For starters, we do want to mention how we appreciate teams bringing back some of those classic looks as throwbacks, but when it comes to a team's regular jersey, the designs aren't even in the same universe. The Utah Jazz delivered an NBA Finals berth with these incredible, in-depth jerseys. Now, well, I honestly don't even know what happened. The same thing can be said for a variety of teams, with the Raptors, Suns, and Pistons being just a few. Let us know in the comments what your favorite and least favorite differences between the two seasons were. We hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to keep an eye out later this week for another version of the 5 to drop, this time featuring some stories from Richmond.